The quest to know the story behind our evolution has led researchers to the discovery of fossil remains, with each of them giving a glimpse of what the past looked like. From their discoveries were the prehistoric species of ancient men, one of which was our very own ancestor, the Homo Heidelbergensis. In this video, we'll explore everything about how Homo Heidelbergensis became the common ancestor of us all. But before we proceed, kindly hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up to keep enjoying our amazing contents. With that said, let's keep things moving. With its hefty structure, widespread distribution on Earth, as well as a position on the human family tree, this wonderful yet obscure species represents one of the key players in the evolution of humankind. Homo heidelbergensis presented itself as an ancestor for not just the modern humans, but also two of the archaic human species, the Neanderthals and the Denisovans. There have been debates among scientists on Homo heidelbergensis being our common ancestor. Are they really the common ancestor of us all? Answering this rhetorical question requires going back to the times when today's civilization did not exist, and survival was based on strength, adaptation, and innovations. Examining the genetic evidence and anatomical structures of the fossil remains discovered, we inch closer to what might be the most gratifying explanation of the puzzle of our origins. Did we all stem from a common ancestor? Homo heidelbergensis. Homo heidelbergensis is believed to have lived in the era of significant climate changes between 600,000 and 200,000 years ago, in the Middle Pleistocene era. This period marked the era of complex changes in the geographical conditions across Europe and Africa. During this time, the environment was changing rapidly. These changes threatened early human species like Homo heidelbergensis. To survive, they had to adapt quickly. Those who couldn't adjust to the new conditions risked dying out. The level of adaptation of this species is evident in the wide time frame of their existence. These species underwent the process of evolution, which was induced by cold climatic conditions of Europe and the warm or even hot climatic regions of Africa. This capacity to expand over numerous territories has helped in the success of their gradual evolution, thereby having a long-lasting effect on the existence of other future hominin species. Even though fossil records cannot be 100% accurate, several fossil remains discovered across the Earth's surface can be used to clarify the timeline of the Homo heidelbergensis existence. It is evident that they persisted in Europe till the appearance of Neanderthals, the emergence of the Homo sapiens in Africa, and the rise of the Denisovans in Asia. China, to be specific. Physically, they are known to attain an average height 1.75 centimeters to 1.83 centimeters in males and 1.57 centimeters to 1.60 centimeters on average in females, making them taller than the previous generation of hominids like Homo habilis and Homo erectus. The external features of Homo heidelbergensis shows its intermediate status between the more ancient humans, such as Homo erectus, and later family members, the Neanderthals, the Denisovans, and the Homo sapiens. Fossils indicate that this species were well built with broad shoulders and long limbs that demonstrated their potential in large game hunts and dealing with tough weather conditions. Homo heidelbergensis cranial morphology also consists of both primitive and quite advanced features. Primitive features such as wide face with broad nose, thick arching brow ridges, flat frontal development, and advanced features such as large cranial capacity of 1,200 and 1,300 cubic centimeters that is little lesser than that of modern humans. Although the brain case was just like that of their forefathers, the increase in cranial capacity suggests greater levels of intelligence over the earlier hominins. The big face with broad nose was also seen in Neanderthals, which could have been because of the cold climatic environment they inhabit, as the large nasal cavity would enable them to breathe and warm up cold, frigid air before it got to the lungs. This feature was also seen in later Neanderthals who lived in cold environments for most of their time. With regards to the teeth, the most modern representatives of Homo heidelbergensis dentition is the presence of very sturdy and heavy jaws, which is still considerably smaller compared to the older hominins. Their enamel were well preserved with teeth smaller than those of the ancestors Homo erectus. These jaws and teeth structures were strongly built for consuming coarse and fibrous vegetation along with meat. In general, Homo heidelbergensis is classified as the ancestor that links Homo erectus with the later human species. Although there's controversy on whether Homo heidelbergensis represents a single human species or several groups of closely related species. The most widely accepted argument among researchers is that two humans descended from Homo heidelbergensis, the Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens. The Neanderthals originating from Europe and the Homo sapiens from Africa. This division highlights complexity in the geographical and evolutionary development of the Middle Pleistocene and diverse adaptation traits. While Homo heidelbergensis are known to be the direct ancestor of Neanderthals in Europe through the specimens from the site of Cima de los Huesos in Spain, and the direct ancestor of modern humans in Africa through the remains from sites such as Bodo in Ethiopia and Kabwe in Zambia, displaying mixture of archaic and derived traits. Another school of thought held by some paleoanthropologists is that there are some evidence from limited remains also relating Denisovans from a part of Asia to this same ancestor, making this historical species a common ancestor for us all. Homo heidelbergensis discovery started in 1907 when a mysterious jawbone known as the Mauer jaw was discovered in a place called Heidelberg in Germany. The jawbone was found to be different from the other jawbone specimens that have been known. It was found to be more robust with larger teeth, different from those of the human species known at the time. This great difference called for the need to fix this hominin into the family tree. The species was named Homo heidelbergensis after the town from which it was first discovered. Heidelberg and this species soon became the center of attention of paleoanthropologists who were seeking to reconstruct the family tree of human beings in Europe. The significance of the discovery was ingenious because it was the first representation of a new kind of ancient human who seemed to have traits that bridge the gap between Homo erectus and the later human species. Following the discovery of the Mauer jaw, fossil remains have been discovered in various sites across Africa, Europe, and some parts of Asia. One of the largest and most important discoveries was made in 1994 from a location known as Cima de los Huesos, Pit of Bones, in Spain. The discovery contained over 5,500 fossil remains for more than 28 bodies. These interred remains of Homo heidelbergensis in a cave gives a glimpse into the behavior and cognitive ability of this ancient species. Since it was notable that the bodies were carefully laid in the cave, rather than strewn carelessly, which leads to the speculation that possible early ritual activities might have occurred. In 1976, a skull was also discovered in a location known as Bodo, Ethiopia in Africa. The skull, which can be dated back to about 600,000 years ago, exhibits features of both the primitive and modern humans, making it an important point of discourse in human evolution in the African continent. The excavated remains of fossils of the Homo heidelbergensis species in different regions of Europe, Africa, and Asia have raised arguments among scientists. While one group thinks Homo heidelbergensis should be confined to Europe with the fossils in Africa belonging to a completely different species, the others think that the species in question should be included in the list of Middle Pleistocene hominids. Although there has been considerable amount of fossil evidence, there are still heated discussions about the evolutionary status of Homo heidelbergensis, with one of the arguments focusing on whether Neanderthals, Denisovans, and Homo sapiens evolved from different human species or from a common ancestor, the Homo heidelbergensis. Another very controversial area is the relationship between Neanderthals and Homo heidelbergensis. Certain researchers assert that the skeletal remains identified as Homo heidelbergensis in Europe belong to early Neanderthals due to the marked similarities of the structures. This means that when the evolutionary history of Homo heidelbergensis is considered, the species would be treated as only having existed in Europe, and also brings doubts of the involvement of this species in creating modern humans. Another controversy arises when discussing the relationship between Homo heidelbergensis and Denisovans. Denisovan features are poorly documented as there are limited fossils about them. This raises questions regarding their evolution. Are they distinct species or simply variations of the Homo heidelbergensis species? A further twist has been added to the discourse with the discovery of Denisovan DNA in modern-day populations of Asia and Oceania, which indicates that Homo heidelbergensis might have interbred with different populations of Homo sapiens. The interplay between Homo heidelbergensis, the common ancestor of Neanderthals, Modern humans, as well as Denisovans, made us believe that Homo Heidelbergensis is an upright walking, Pleistocene human being and the last common ancestor from which we descended, with us evolving from Africa, Neanderthals evolving from Europe, and Denisovans from Asia. Certain researchers think that Homo heidelbergensis was not structurally or genetically restricted to the narrow confines of a single European species, but rather part of a wide range of Middle Pleistocene hominins existing in Europe, Africa, and Asia. They advocate for these populations interbred and exchange genetic materials which form possessed ancestors to Neanderthals, Denisovans, and the modern human. Evidence suggests that they were active hunters using hunting instruments to hunt animals including deer, horses, and in some circumstances, elephants as well. This ability to make and handle tools was a major factor in their success, as it enabled them to take advantage of many other resources in various habitats. Furthermore, the discovery of wooden spears, butchered animal bone fragments, goes further to prove that Homo heidelbergensis were active hunters. They also possessed organization skills which showcase that their lifestyle is full of adjustment and resourcefulness. In addition, their teeth were found to have traces of wear, which was an evidence of them consuming both animals, meat, and vegetables. Tools may have existed which were used for scraping up roots and tubers. This flexibility in utilizing different kinds of food was very important in their life, especially during variations in climatic conditions which characterized the Middle Pleistocene. After going through the anatomical structures, fossil records, evolution, lifestyles, and practices, without any doubt, it is evident that Homo heidelbergensis owns the title of the common ancestor for us all. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.